All right, welcome back to my kitchen pantry project, day 2. Yesterday ran into a couple of challenges, lost power for a couple hours, had to quit. Worked pretty late, just kind of got exhausted and decided that it was time to quit. So, just to give you a status update, I did get all of the shelves cut for in here. So there they are on this side. The ones for the other side are outside. I have not drilled the sides of these just yet. What I am working on right now are the drawers that are going to go in this area here. So let me go outside and let me show you what we're doing. All right, so we're out in the garage / wood shop. And I have a prototype drawer built. So let me show you that. I'm going to flip the camera because it's a little hard for me to look at me and talk at the drawer at the same time. So hold on just a second. Okay, so here's my prototype drawer. So my rough opening between the verticals in my cabinet are 18 inches. So because I need a 1/2 inch on each side for the slide, I've made these drawers 17 inches, outside dimension to outside dimension, and then the cabinets themselves are 15 3/4 deep, the bracing. So these drawers right now are 15 inches front to back. So that makes sure that when I put them in there, they don't slam against the back of the wall. And it also means that when they're fully closed, the face of these drawers, which will be that guy, are flush with the front of the cabinet. So I want this to look good when it's done. There's no point in doing it if it's going to look like crap when I'm done. So, as you can see, what I've done is I've cut these and I used my table saw to sort of make a dado groove in there. I don't have a dado blade. I'll show you how I'm doing that with just a regular table saw blade here in a second. But I wanted to set the bottom inside of the sides. Number one, it gives it stability. Number two, you don't have rough edges. Let's see if I can get this off. It doesn't want to come off. That cut really well actually on my saw. But a lot of times with this thin wood, you'll get a lot of splintering on the edges, and I just didn't want to see that. So I wanted to recess that inside of the sides. The back, I want the sides to be one continuous length and not interrupted by either the front or the back, even though the front is actually going to cover this because we don't want to see this in the front. I mean, that's just, yeah. So that will get covered. But we wanted these to be one continuous length so that the rail can affix to them securely, and it'll look good when it's done. So I have all of these pieces already cut. So I've got 4 drawers. I've got 4 sides, 4 backs, and 4 fronts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go sort of dado groove all of these pieces so that we can set in the bottom pieces, and then I'll cut the bottom pieces and we'll assemble the drawers. So let me get my table saw set up and I'll show you what I'm doing with those. So it occurred to me as I was setting the saw up that I should probably show you what I'm doing just to do this. So basically what I want is I want a 1/4 inch groove down the piece of wood, 1/4 inch deep, 1/4 inch up from the bottom of the drawer. So in order to do that, I've got my table saw blade set. I don't know how well this is going to show up. I got a lot of light in the background, but I've got my table saw set at 1/4 inch depth. And then when you're setting your guard, lots of times these guards don't move evenly. I mean, I've got a, kind of a run-of-the-mill Craftsman saw, and it's a good saw, don't get me wrong, but sometimes the guards don't move consistently. So mine's set, so I'm going to go ahead and latch it down. And then after it's latched, I'm just going to check it again to make sure it didn't move on me, and it didn't here. and it didn't there. Okay, so good. So now we're set, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on the saw, and I'm going to cut maybe one of these for you, just to kind of show you how it works. Actually, I'm not going to set it on the saw. I won't stick to the saw. Okay, I'm going to cut a couple of these for you, just to kind of show you the process behind them. Got all my stuff staged behind me. Use protection. Don't push these pieces of wood. You notice I've got my guard down. I've made a little piece of wood like this to help push things through. You don't want to get your fingers caught on that. So just use, common sense. Find you something that'll push it through that's kind of safe. So I'll push a couple of these through, just kind of let you get an idea of what I'm doing. Once I get them all run through, I'll adjust this guard back just enough to make another cut, and I'll have to do that one more time. I got to do it 3 times to get 1/4 of an inch off of these pieces to set the bottom piece in it. So here we go, a couple pieces. Let me take these off real quick. So you get the idea. Cut a 1/4 inch groove in that. I'm going to go back, run through all of these real quick, and then I'm going to adjust the guard twice to get a 1/4 inch cut, and we'll have all of them grooved. I'll be back when I'm done. All right, I have all of my sides, backs, the other side, and the fronts grooved. So we are ready to cut the bottoms. So just one of the things, just something to think through as you're building this, pick out the wood that you want to do for the bottom of these, and then figure out if you like the grain. It's a personal preference thing, going this way or this way. I happen to want the grain to go, I guess, perpendicular to the way it opens. For me, I don't know why, that's just the way I wanted it. So I'm going to set my saw up to cut those. Got the dimensions of those already measured out. And so remember, when you do this, you got to account for the 1/4 inch groove in here. So you want to add a 1/2 inch to the, if your drawer sits like this, and I'll just put this together real quick. You'll need to add, a 1/2 inch to whatever this inside dimension is, because you want this drawer to sit inside the groove. So just don't forget that when you're doing that. So I'm going to measure these out. I'm going to get them cut, and we'll come back and we'll put them together. All right, welcome back. Just want to catch you up on where I am in the project. Let me flip my camera so I can show you what we're doing, and just kind of give you an idea of what I've done since you've been gone. Hold on. All right, so my front door handles, I wanted to groove them out so that, they were kind of, convenient to grab, and you had something to grab hold of, and it just, I don't know, you tell me. I think it looks a little better that way. So what I ended up doing is I took it, I found the center point, and then I marked off, I don't know, I wanted about 5 inches up here at the top to just kind of shove my hand through. So I found that halfway point, measured 2.5 inches this way, 2.5 inches this way from center, and then took my miter saw and cut it 1 inch down on both sides. And then I took my router with this cutting bit, built myself a block to ride the router against, and basically you always start, don't let the router walk with you. if you let it walk, i.e. if you're going this way in a cut, it'll walk with you and you'll end up running a little groove like that. Of course, you can still do that, not doing that. But basically, once I got the cuts with the miter saw in here, I took my router, went in, and then walked it across this way till I got here, and it basically cut that little block like that out. Actually, it went this way, because when I went straight in, it cut that triangle off, then walked it out, knocked it off. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a rounding bit like this. I'm going to stick that in my router to take off these sharp edges. And so when it's done, it will look somewhat like this. Now this one's not 100% finished. I'm going to sand it. I'm going to knock this off too. And basically, you know, the whole top of it will be rounded. It'll be comfortable to grab hold of. And so yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm going to run over these with the rounding bit, get them to look just like that one. And then I'll start putting some shelves together. All right, welcome back to my kitchen pantry, whatever I'm working on, project. Yes, that's the word. I stopped, grabbed some lunch or grabbed some dinner. It is dark outside, as you can see out there now. And so I'm ready to put some drawers together. So how about you guys? So let's put some drawers together and get this thing rolling. So here we go. Hold on, I'm going to flip the video. All right. So I went through and cut all my faces out. I got them nice and rounded, took some sandpaper to them, roughed the edges off of them. Look at that. I mean, that's just nice, 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 nice. I like it. So those are going to make really, really, really nice drawer fronts. Got my sides laid out, got my backs laid out, got the other sides, got my bottoms laid out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through each of these pieces. I'm going to put just a little bit of wood glue in it. And the wood glue is only to stabilize this bottom piece. It's not really to provide a whole lot of sticking point, because number one, I don't want a whole lot of glue in there. I don't want it coming up through the cracks. That's going to make a, ugly appearance. But what I'm going to do is put a little bit of wood glue in each of the cracks, put the drawer together, and then I'm going to use a brad nailer and put a couple of nails in each of these joints where necessary. So I'm going to get started on that, and I'll come back and show you some progress after I get one built.